Hello, hello, hello. So this is our normal Friday high conflict co-parenting Q&A. My apologies, I normally put the story up a day before so that you can submit your questions, and I completely forgot, so my apologies for that. Hello everyone, can you hear me okay? Can you just put a yes or a thumbs up in the comment box if you can hear me? And I assume you can see me okay. All right, so yeah, my apologies. I forgot to put the question story. So I have one question submitted because I put the story up today. And this is all to do with high conflict co-parenting. Great. Glad you can hear me. And I just love to hear, where are you listening from? If you could just put that in the comment box. And for anybody who's new, I'm Sarah, a high conflict co-parenting coach. I'm not high conflict, but I help women who deal with a high conflict ex. Okay, and everything that comes with that. So we launched the Co-Parenting Club this week, and we had our first session on Wednesday. Wednesday for me, Tuesday for most of the members, because they're in the US. Glad you can hear. Hello from Phoenix, Utah, North Carolina, I think that is. So yeah, the Co-Parenting Club kicked off this week. It was a great first session. If you want details for that, the link to that is in my bio, or you can DM me co-parent if you have any questions. Also, I'm going to read out this question and I'm going to answer it. And then if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box, but keep it to like a sentence if you can. And this is specifically just for high conflict co-parenting. And when I say co-parenting, I mean parallel parenting, usually with people of this nature. It's not your typical co-parenting. Good to see you from California and Indonesia. All right, so somebody submitted a question: how do I truly let it go? Live without being worried about my kids being with him. He's toxic. So that is the age-old question. How do you truly let it go? You don't let it go, but you get to the place where you do your work, that elusive word work, where you are regulated within yourself, you are on your journey, topping yourself up, learning everything you need to learn, having your boundaries, your cast iron boundaries in place, teaching your children what you learn, obviously in an age-appropriate manner, so that they are supported with the different parenting styles. Obviously there is no parenting style over there, but you know what I mean. So that, once you get to a place where you are comfortable, it doesn't mean all the problems are over. This person's not going to crawl under a rock and never come back, unfortunately. So it's then supporting your children so that they can deal with having a parent of this nature, and that is going to be different depending on their age and their level of understanding. The Co-Parenting Club, this is what we do. It's exactly what we cover in the Co-Parenting Club with my tailor-made support. That's my one-line answer, getting to a place where you are supported yourself, and then you can support your children. That's like the top line answer. If you want specifics for your situation, join the Co-Parenting Club, because that's what we do there. And you get training, my one-on-one support, and tailor-made action steps, because it's with these things, there's not just one answer. There are steps that you need to follow and follow through. I wish it was as easy as just one line and you go and do that one thing and then everything's rosy. It's not like that. It's kind of something that compounds and you build on your skill. It's like a new skill, like a new language that you're learning. Okay, and yeah, worrying about your kids being with him, there's always going to be that level of anxiety, and that can take time to work through. Also, one big tip is, whilst they are there, make sure that you are doing something for yourself. Make sure you're spending time either developing yourself, picking up a new skill, spending time with people who love and support you, cultivating that strength and energy within yourself, so that when they come back, you are fully and emotionally present with them, so that you can be the best possible parent for them. Okay. Hi Robin, good to see you. So that would be my answer to that. Another thing, and this is something that keeps coming up, and may or may not be something that you're aware of. It ties in with my post today about them sucking your time and energy from you, and it takes away from your parenting, it takes away maybe from your work, it takes away from your other relationships or friendships, and it takes away from your energy and you focusing on yourself. You just don't have any time, you don't have any capacity if you're wrapped up with managing this person and they're showing up in your emails. Like, more specifically, if they're showing up in your emails, bombarding you. So this isn't if you're using a parenting app. If you have a parenting app, like, you don't need to listen to this part. But if they are bombarding you in the emails, there are two things you can do. You can either create a separate email address and have their emails go to that email address. If you need help or scripts with how to have that conversation with them or how to announce that, there are ways to do that, because you're probably now wondering, well, if I tell them to use that email address because I don't want to see them in my normal email, they're going to ask questions and I can't lie. Okay, there are ways around that. So you can either have a separate email address so that their emails just end up there and you go and check it whenever you want to at your own leisure. Or you can filter out their email address and have that go into a separate folder. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can Google how to do that, but if you need help or support with that, come to the Co-Parenting Club, because that is what we cover there as well. These things are kind of limiting their access to you and creating that safe distance buffer that is needed. Once you have a little bit of distance from them, you're going to have more capacity to have the time and energy to actually think about the next steps and think a little bit further ahead, so that you can plan, you can be strategic, and they do not impact your life as much as they are. Like, seeing their name in your inbox, and if they're sending multiple messages, you know none of them are going to be nice and pleasant. It is overwhelming, it does drain your energy, and it is exhausting, even if you're not responding. It's exhausting just to have them there. And one of my clients, she has the luxury, I know we don't all have this, but her sister filters her emails for her and lets her know. So she's kind of like her buffer person. If you have someone like that, go and get them, because then she determines, okay, you've got an email, it's not urgent, or you got an email, it doesn't require a response. Okay, in lieu of having a buffer person. Oh, can you hear me okay? Someone says they can't hear anymore. I don't know whether you mean me or can you hear me? Just put thumbs up if you can hear or not hear. You can? Okay, perfect. Maybe you couldn't hear any more of the content. That's possibly what you meant. I don't know, but that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, if you don't have a buffer person, then you need to create a separate email address where their emails go to, so you can check, or you filter out their email and then you have that go to a separate folder so it doesn't impact. Perfect, you can hear me, excellent. So it doesn't impact your life. If you have someone in your inbox where you run your normal life, you are going to be not excited to go to your emails, and you're going to maybe miss important things. And it's going to be a place of dread and a triggering place to go. If you have a separate email, maybe you don't even have access to that email address on your phone. You have to actually go to your desktop. That's even better, because then it's not at your fingertips. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Oh, no, that's okay. Your sound went out. Okay. That's all right. So yeah, the whole thing that is going to give you more time and energy, especially when you have someone at you and throwing balls and hurling all this abuse at you, or even starting fires here, there, and everywhere, wherever you look. The first step is to have a safe distance buffer from this person so they cannot easily get to you. Put something in place so that there is some distance, so that you then have time and energy to focus on what's really important for you. Okay? And also, part of my post was, there is no time allocated for dealing with my high conflict ex. There is no time slot in your calendar or in your day or in your life for that. You have to make that time. You have to prioritize allocating time to putting certain things in place that are basically going to put them in their place, basically going to keep them at a safe distance from you, energetically and physically, if need be. but also, just to keep them at arm's length. Once you've got that, that protects this. As I say every week, protect this, and your children are in here. They're on the outside. They cannot come in. If they're in your inbox, they're in. If they're in your home because your children are coming home and triggering you or saying things, or you're being belittled to your children, and then they're in your home, they're in your home. They're not physically in your home, but they're energetically in your home. You need that place to be your safe place for you and your children. So however you can work out to keep them at arm's length and away, they're not going away, they're not going to crawl under a rock, and in lieu of dying, they're always going to be around. Okay, so you need to think about what I can do within my power and control to keep them at a safe distance. And the first step is out of my emails, off my phone. Okay, and I know a lot of people use apps. That's perfect as well. But another thing, they can still get to you on the app, so checking that at certain times, limiting your access to checking, like just check maybe 3 or 4 times a day, have a reminder on your phone. Obviously, if your children are in their care, you might want to check more frequently or have notifications on. But if your children aren't in their care, then you don't need to be on high alert checking those messages. Just set an alarm for 3 or 4 times a day if need be, or have the notifications on just 3 or 4 times a day and off the rest of the time. There's nothing that is life or death at that stage, okay? So does anybody have a question before I sign off? And again, I apologize that I didn't put the Q&A story up yesterday so that you could submit your questions. I just received one this morning when I did my story. But yeah, we kicked off the Co-Parenting Club. Please DM me Co-Parent if you want some information on that, or go to the link in my bio. Yeah, that's it. High conflict co-parenting. It's an ongoing journey. It doesn't have to be a nightmare forever. And the question I get a lot of the time is, does it ever end? And I don't want this to discourage you. It doesn't ever end, but you get better at navigating this once you do something. It's not going to happen with time. It's not going to happen on its own. It's not going to happen if you bury your head under the sand. Okay? You have to put some things in place to keep them at a safe distance so that you can put them in their place. Okay? And shut them down at every opportunity. I'm at a place where I get to shut this person down. They haven't gone away completely. They're never going to go away. But if you can shut them down, nip their attempts in the bud soon enough, it's not like they go away, but you get the breathing space. You have the capacity to then live your life and be the best possible parent for your children and be present and maybe have other relationships and friendships. Okay? Yeah, good to see you, Robin. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to sign off. But yes, if you have someone in your inbox, your high conflict text bombarding you with messages, I highly suggest creating a separate email or filtering out their email address so it goes to a separate folder, and you just check that however many times a day you want to or feel is necessary, but they're just not there mixed in with your life. Okay? Yeah, so you said truth, I have that now, and he is asking to FT. I'm not sure what that means. M. Sarway, or Miss Arway, sorry. You have that now, and now he's asking to FT. I'm not sure what FT is. And then someone said, my high conflict ex is in and out of my kid's life and only pops in when he has money and then tries to shower them with gifts. So frustrating. Most of the time he doesn't follow through. How do I handle? So DL, I mean, the fact that he's in and out of their lives isn't ideal, but it's actually good that he's not a constant, I would say, long term. You get to a place where you are picking up the pieces, you hold that space for them, and you you are their person, you are their safe place. And yeah, he can come back when he has money. Try and shift your mindset to, that's good, okay, they get showered with gifts. Reaffirm to them that gifts isn't love. Just keep telling them gifts isn't love. It's nice to get things, but that is not love. It doesn't replace love. And it's not saying that he doesn't love them, but it's just making it clear to them that, and it depends on their age as well, that gifts are not love. It's very easy to buy gifts. Anyone can buy gifts. It doesn't replace love. Hi Dietra, good to see you. It's been a long time. Okay, Miss Sawe. Okay, now he's asking to FaceTime. Yeah, well, if that's in the court orders, sure. If it's not in the court orders, then that's your decision. But you probably know how you want to answer that. And it's not like you want to stop the children from having contact with him, but it needs to be up to the children if they want to FaceTime, not up to him. And this is the thing. It's not a parent's right. We don't have rights like that. It's about the child and what they want and their perspective. And if they're missing the other parent, sure, they can go and FaceTime if they want to, if you want to allow that. But if it's the parent saying, I want to FaceTime, I have a right. No, you don't have rights. It's the children's rights before your own. That's just my opinion anyway. Because, you know, he's able to manage his own emotions. You would think he's a grown-up. He can deal with the fallout of that. Yeah, FT is FaceTime, yeah. You would think I'm technologically aware of these things, but yeah, I'm not really. Okay, someone has said my ex-narc was supposed to do 12 supervised visits. He hasn't, would be in contempt if he was supposed to do it in 2020. Yeah, if he hasn't, he's forfeited that opportunity. I mean, that's nothing you can control or force. He's shown himself for who he is. Depends on the age of your children if they understand that he forfeited and that he chose not to. Again, we just need to be there to pick up the pieces, but also reaffirm to the children healthy behaviours and unhealthy behaviours so that they can pick up the breadcrumbs and work things out for themselves. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Miss Arway, it's not in the orders, and she's only one. Yeah, I had a one-on-one client a couple of years ago who was in this situation where her high conflict ex would FaceTime every single night. That is a way to get in your home. That is a way to have something to do with you, to penetrate you, monopolize your time, monopolize your energy. A 1-year-old cannot speak. There is nothing a 1-year-old needs to say. There's nothing he needs to say to a 1-year-old that she's actually going to understand or remember. Okay, so that's for his benefit, not the child's benefit. So she's only one. You know, I personally would say, yeah, it's not in the orders. I wouldn't even suggest, oh, when she's older, let's do that. I would just say, it's not in the orders. Or per the orders, that's not necessary. Full stop. Yeah. Okay, does anybody have a question before I sign off? I know I was going to go 5 minutes ago, but can I stop him from being in our life? Hey, that would be nice, wouldn't it? And I think we need to get away from hoping and wishing and actually into doing. Okay, does that make sense? Hoping and wishing is a waste of time and energy. I mean, you can have hopes, but in lieu of something drastic happening, like, you know, him dying or moving away, you need to find a way to manage the situation and support your children and support yourself so that you can live your best possible life and be the best parent for them. It's not like you have to be under their control forever. It's just that something needs to happen. You have to do something. Okay. I like to make you chuckle. And again, I just want to say, like, you can either laugh or cry about some of these things. Take control, manage this in whatever way you feel necessary, but you have to do something because this other person is not going to be doing anything to make your life easier. Okay? It's down to you. And this other person is not going to do anything in the best interest of your children. So again, it's down to you to make these decisions. It's down to you to put the fear aside and do what's necessary. Okay? My ex put in an order calling at 8 p.m. daily. My daughter doesn't want to talk to him. Do I force her? If you force your child, this is just my opinion, then you are telling her that she has to do things for other people if she doesn't want to. And that's going to produce a people pleaser. Or that's the risk that you're going to run into. What do you want to teach your daughter? That she can have boundaries, that she can choose for herself and think for herself? Or do you want to teach her that no matter what other people want, you have to give it to them? That's for you to answer yourself, and then you'll know the answer to that question. Okay? All right, I'm going to sign off now. Join the Co-Parenting Club. We do all of this within there if you want more specific, tailor-made responses from me. A bunch of great women. I can't really communicate what it's like to be in there enough to show the value, but it's a great place to be. And strong, determined women going through the shit, but we are getting there one bit at a time with my guidance and my support, and also you can have action steps to move forward specifically for you, because although we're all going through the same thing, your situations are all a bit different. You're very welcome. All right, everyone, take care of yourself, and I will make sure that I do the story post next week, a day earlier for the Q&As if you have any. And Deetra said, great advice, coach. I'll see you next time. Still using all of your advice. Excellent. Thanks so much, Deetra. I'm glad, and I hope you and your son are safe and well. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.